He's just pandering to the.
Yeah. All right, we're going to start. All right. So if you've got some blocks, pull them out. You don't need blocks, but we usually start with the L-sits in our hour of power. So bring your feet to the mat so your knees are up. And place your hands beside your hips. So this is where you're going to put your blocks, right here by your hips. So let's say you're home, you don't have blocks. This is harder, but you can make fists, press down, and lift your hips. So this is still an L-sit. So I'm tucking back, and I'm floating my feet. The blocks make it a little bit easier. I'm not saying it makes it easy, but in this class we use the blocks. We use the L-sit for warm-up. So feet on the mat, hands on the blocks. Exhale, up, back. Try to relax your shoulders as you tuck back. Keep your legs straightening. Keep the tuck. See if you can get a little float. Feet are active. Deep breath. For 10 seconds. You got it. Breathe. Three, two, down. So circle your wrist out. Hold your shoulders. Draw in, deep breath. So we're going to go one more time. Well, we're going to do it more than one more time. And I'm setting a good timer. Like I'm putting 45 seconds. So if it feels like it's a long time, it's because it is a long time. Rob, you remember how long in double your core stuff? Was it a minute or 30 seconds? 5 up to a minute. Yeah. So Brian Ogenod, one of the guys I did some trainings with a couple years ago, that a lot of this stuff from this class comes from. Like he would have you do that stuff. Most of his workouts would be L-sits. You start L-sits and you'd hold it for up to a minute. It's tough, you know. And it doesn't get easier. Your core gets stronger. So where you're learning to engage your core and tuck back and breathe at the same time, which is very applicable to inversion work, crow work, any of the standing poses. It helps you learn how to do that. So when you're in a warrior two, you should be doing the same thing. I mean, you should be up, back, you're breathing, your core's on, all those things. Protect your spine, right? So we're not dumping weight into our spine. Hands on the blocks. Feet on the mat. Up, back. So even though you're pressing, your shoulders are relaxed. Keep tucking back and maybe your feet become light. Breathe. So this is almost more of a breathing practice than anything else because you're in a difficult position. You're shifting back, you're pressing away. 5 seconds. 2, down. Good. Again, circling the wrist out. I always forget we have these cool lights. That's not what I want to do. One more L-sit. Best one yet. Hands on the blocks, feet on the mat. Shift up, back, and tuck. Breathe, shift forward. Lift your feet if you can. Maybe one. Keep your feet active. Keep breathing. Keep tucking. Ten seconds. 3, 2, down. Good. You kind of shift your blocks out of your way. Bring your hands behind you and bring your knees up. So we're just going to start to windshield wiper both knees. Continuing those breaths in and out of the nose. And next time your knees go to the left, take the left foot and press it into the right knee and walk forward kind of over your left leg. So it's kind of like a pigeon, but not really. It's folding down. You can be popped up to fingertips. Pressing the right knee into the left foot into the right knee. Breathe. Kind of walk your hands back around so you're up. So just shift the position of your knees. So right foot pressing into left knee. Going to center over the right knee and walk yourself down, folding over the right knee. Again, you can pop up the fingertips. Relaxing your hips down. Breathing here for 3. 2. Come back up. Once you wiper the knees left and right, a couple more times. And come where you have your feet at the top of your mat. And lean back to take your feet off the mat. Boat position. You can play with taking your hands away, play with straightening your legs. Keep that tuck. So think L-sit. Remember the feeling of being an L-sit? You're doing that here. That's engaging your core, and it allows you to hold the shape. Steady breath. 3, 2, feet down. Breath in. Breath out. In. Out. Lean back, lift your feet. So take your right hand and reach for the outer edge of your left foot. Switch, left hand for outer edge of right foot. Exhale, switch. 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 Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plow. Arms reaching behind you. Legs reaching toward hands. Feet relaxing toward the floor. So it's a shape of compression, so breathe. Try to flatten your arms, your hands onto the mat. And every time you exhale, maybe your knees get a little closer to your head, your feet a little closer to the floor. Hold your shape. 3, 2, and roll up, placing your feet down. So that's the movement we're going to work on here. We're exhaling back, and try it both ways. And come forward. Trying to widen your stance and come up into a standing position, and then lower yourself down with breath. So you're getting really small and tucking, and you're widening your stance so that you can come up. Maybe passing through a forward fold as you come up. Move between this shape 3 more times. On your third one, roll up into a forward fold. Forward fold, flatten your hands. Relax your neck and shoulders. Head hangs heavy. Press into the ground and engage your shoulders. If you can't flatten your hands, bend your knees and hips more to get those hands down, and then start to straighten the legs. Breathe. Come up a little bit and reach hands for opposite elbows. A little ragdoll, a little shaking side to side. Head is heavy. Maybe forward and back, swaying. Come back to steady, hands flat on the mat. Press. Straighten your legs a little more. Inhale as you lengthen forward so your hands can slide up your legs. Crown of your head reaching forward, tailbone pressing back. Long spine, torso parallel with the mat. Exhale, fold again. Take those flat hands down. Press down through your heels, roll up with heavy hands. Inhale, slow and controlled. Taking the shoulders up, rolling them back and down. Mountain pose. Good. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold your flat hands to the mat. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, plant your hands and step your feet back to plank. With fingers spread wide, heels reaching back, shifting forward so your shoulders are at least at your wrist, maybe even a little further past. And press to lower, hugging your elbows underneath for 3, for 2, and flatten your feet. Slide forward to cobra, hug your elbows and shoulders back. Big breath. Another breath in. Lower your chest, tuck your toes up and back. Downward facing dog. Breathe here in your down dog. Lifting and lowering your heels if it's your first down dog. Looking to the top of the mat and walking your feet forward this first time. Lift halfway and deep fold. Press down through your heels and roll up. Inhale. Reach tall. Clasp your hands and bend back. Hips forward, shoulders back, strong legs. Bend for 3. Bend for 2. Hands lower through heart center. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale for length. Exhale, plant and float it back. Find your plank. Shift forward and plank and press to lower. Inhale, curl up to cobra. Exhale, press back to downward face. Breathe here in your down dog. For 3. Fingers spread wide, looking forward, bending into your knees, 2. And on an exhale, give it a spring, give it a press, give it a hop. And bring your feet down. Walk it up if you need to, halfway lift. Deep fall down, flatten hands. Press through your heels and inhale, roll up through your spine. Shrug your shoulders up. Roll your shoulders back. Breath in. Breath out. In. Out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, find length. Plant your hands, float back, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, curl up cobra. Press back, downward facing dog. Breathe there in your down dog for 3. Bending into your knees, looking forward where you're taking your hands. 2. Bend into your knees and float your feet up. Okay, walk them up where they need to be to find your forward fold. Fold down. Lengthen forward. Fold again. Press through heels, roll up through spine. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Clasp and bend back. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands through heart center. Good. Breath in. Breath out. One more in. And out. Inhale, reach. Fold. Lengthen. Float back, lower through. Inhale, upward facing dog. So extend up and bend back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Your upside down V. Fingers are spread wide, looking forward, bending into your knees. And exhale, spring press. Float. And land at the top of the mat. Lift halfway. Fold down. Press through heels. Inhale, roll up. Slow. Controlled. Shoulders up. Back and down, mountain pose. Breath in. Breath out. Feet together. Squeeze your legs. Sit your hips back. Fierce pose. Reach tall. Lower the hips toward the heels. Look down at your toes. Make sure you can see them. Hips back. Arms high. Look up. Breathe. Good. 3. 2. And fold down. Find length in your spine. Plant your hands and float your left foot back. We're in a runner's lunge. So left heel is up. Right knee over right heel. Press into the right heel and scissor your legs to lift your hands. You're working stability in that front knee. Your hands are at your hips. Front thigh closer to parallel. Rear leg straighter. Torso over hips. Arms up. Crescent lunge. And breathe. So things that help your balance. Not looking at people that move or things that move. And breathing. If you're strong in this, press down, lift up a little higher and bend back. For 3, you got it. 2, hands to the mat, press into the mat, float your right foot back. Maybe it hovers. You shift through plank. Inhale, upward face. Exhale, downward face. Good. Widen your stance in your down dog. Fingers are spread wide. Deep bend in the knees, so it's frog hop in place. Look forward. Spring press and float. 1. Look forward. Spring press and float. 2. Look forward. Spring press and float. 3. Look to the top of the mat. Bring your feet up to meet your hands. Feet are together. Lift halfway. Deep fold. Hips back, arms high. Fierce pose. Reach tall. Lift. Arms, lean shoulders back, lower hips. Keep looking up and breathing. For 3, good. For 2, rise up, interlace your fingers and bend back, hips forward, shoulders back. Strong legs. 3, to get your arms behind your ears if you can. 2, hands lower. Mountain pose. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out, feet together, squeeze your legs, sweep your arms, sit your hips back, fierce pose, and breathe. Reaching arms up, leaning shoulders back, lowering hips toward heels. For 3, you got it. 2, and fold. Flat hands to the mat. Inhale for length. Exhale to take your right foot back so you're on those right toes, the left knee's over the left heel. You scissor your leg, pressing through the left heel and rise up. Hands at hips, finding your balance. Reaching your arms high. Crescent lunge. So you're getting your front thigh closer to parallel. You're straightening your rear leg. You're reaching your arms high as you breathe for 3. Good. Get that knee stable. Rotate it out. 2. Hands to the mat. Float your left foot back to meet your right. Shift through plank, pressing to lower. Inhale, upward face. Exhale, downward face. Fingers spread wide, bending into your knees, looking forward. Frog hop in place 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Look to the top of the mat and take your feet up to meet your hands. Your feet are together as you lift. Fold. Hips back, arms high, fierce pose, reach, lift, and lower your hips towards your heels as your shoulders lean back. Looking up, breathing. 3, 2, hands to heart center. Take your left elbow outside your right knee. Sit your hips back. Don't let your knees splay out too much. And open to the right. In your seated twist. Breathing. Reach your arms up. Twist your right elbow outside your left knee. Connect, sit back, don't let your knees splay, and open to the left side. Lengthen your spine. Breathing. Twisting. 3, 2, reach up. Clasp your hands and release your fingers, bend back. 3, good. 2, hands lower, good. Grab a sip of water. Get warm up. I was like, I'm sweaty. I'm gonna take my shirt off, and I'm like, oh, I have this microphone. That won't work. Katie can't hear me. Or whoever's watching the video won't be able to hear me. Modern day Zoom problems. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. How's everybody feeling? You get warmed up? So I think everybody's getting or is used to using the Qt system to sign up, for classes, for online classes. I'm just going to keep encouraging everybody to do it, because the last thing I want is for somebody to like drive here and be like, oh, there's no room, we'll cram in, but when the studio gets fully open and people are coming in, it's going to be tight, So, and just because of our location, we're going to have walk-in people. Like, oh, I heard there was a class, boom, so we just want to make sure that and if you do register for classes like in advance, which is a good idea, just take yourself out of the class, message us so we can, so that spot opens up, The hot classes, are going to be very attended. They were at Elite. I got a Facebook memory today. It was like, it's 95 degrees. We still have an hour left. No, our classes are now 105 degrees. So it's and if you haven't experienced infrared 105, it's pretty intense. Pretty sure everybody that's tried it out is there was a moment where I didn't think I was going to make it through the class. I'm like, then the class was successful, because that's what I remember from my first hot yoga classes. That same thing. I'm in child's pose. I just, how are these people doing this? If you ever listen to Joe Rogan talk about doing hot yoga, that's what he says is so amazing. He's just I'm just in there, and I'm like, I gotta quit. And I look over there, and some 80-year-old lady just bam, in the shape, and I'm like, well, I can't quit, yeah, I got, what am I doing? How are these people doing this? And it's true, because that's the difference. You're in this room, and you're like, well, everybody else is doing it. Maybe I just gotta step my game up a little bit, and that's that positive thing about the peer pressure, Nobody's gonna say anything if you take child's pose. We all get it. But you're in a hot yoga class because you're trying to perform. You want to feel better. You're pushing yourself. Those are all the things that happen in those classes. And we're going to have that 6 a.m. Friday class, and it's super early. I get it. But man, do you feel good like once you're done with that. You know? It's like, wow, start my day. Of course, then like Emma was making fun of me because like we tried it the other week, and I was like, she's like, you're going to bed at 8 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was like cooked. Yeah, I was done. So back at the top of the mat, let's have a hip width stance and kind of shift your weight into each foot. Rolling onto the outer edge. Maybe circle your knees a few times. Circle your hips a few times. Both directions. And lean over to that left side so you can haul that right knee up. In balance, looking at something that's not moving helps. Hands around the right knee and draw it up even higher. See, look, it went higher. Who knows? Breathe. Pull that knee up. Straighten the right leg forward. Pulse the straight right leg up for 3, for 2, for 1, and bend it. Airplane arms behind you. Torso forward. Work the right leg back. Keep the arms reaching back. Look at something that's not moving. You got a little bend in the left knee. Airplane. So you're working to reach the arms back. You're reaching the right leg back. You're working to balance on the left leg. You're breathing. Lower that right foot down. We're going into warrior 1. So the outer edge is at a 45 degree. Right hip forward, hands at hips. You can see where your hips are by your elbows. They should be facing the side walls. Bend into the left knee. So if you just step back enough, just adjust your stance. Lift your toes on the front foot. Lower them down one at a time if you can. Super hard. Reach up. Extend up through the arms. Bend down into the front leg. Square the right hip forward, warrior 1. And breathe. Reaching tall. Holding your shape for 3. Maybe bending back a little bit if you're strong here. 2. And open to warrior 2. So your arms open, your rear foot opens, your hips open, your front knee does not open. Don't let it track over the big toe. Keep it rotating out. Very common. This. Don't do that. Keep your torso over your hips. Also common. Rear arm is just, nope. Make it strong. Look back at it. Notice what that feels like. Take it deeper into the front leg. Warrior 2. And breathe. Look over the front fingertips. Holding your shape for 3. For 2, flip the left palm and tilt back to peaceful warrior. Keep the bend in the front thigh. So the leaning back, the stretching is happening in the left side body, the left ribs, and you're lifting up before you go back. Breathing. Good. For 3. 2. Take a side angle, left forearm to left knee. So this is the first one we're talking about. Right arm up, left arm on left knee, shoulders stacking. So if you're working other things like arm away, binds, it's a good time to take it. And if you're like, I'm not worried about all that, I just want to be here, and that's fine. Breathe. How's your breath? Hold your shape. If you're in regular side angle and you want to take it a little more, right arm by right ear, extended side angle. Left arm by left ear. Breathe. Right shoulder back. Scoop those left ribs under. Breathe here for 3. For 2. And meet back in peaceful warrior. Keep that front knee bent. I know that front thigh is getting tired. Straighten the left leg. Come back to warrior 2 arms and reach forward, bending at the waist. We're moving to triangle, taking the left arm down to the straightening left leg. You can go anywhere on that straightening left leg. Stack your right shoulder over your left shoulder and take your right arm into the air. So you're working that arm up. You're stacking the shoulders. You're straightening the front leg. The other day, Caitlin gave a pretty interesting option here. Take the left arm and reach it forward like toward the wall. Gives us a little extra. Right arm reaching, left arm forward. Breathe for 3. Breathe for 2. Peaceful warrior. Bend into that front thigh and tilt it back. Cartwheel your hands to the floor. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Maybe it hovers as you shift through a vinyasa, which is lowering down. Upward face. Downward face. Breathe. Fingers spread wide. Bending in the knees, look forward. Float your feet up to meet your hands. And lift halfway. Deep fall down. Press down. Inhale, roll up through your spine. Shrug your shoulders back. Mountain pose. Breath in. Breath out. So lean, come into a hip width distance. Lean over to the right. Haul that left knee up. Again, look at something that's not moving. Hands around the front of the left knee and haul it up even higher. Breathe. Extend that left foot forward. Work to straighten it and pulse it up for 3, for 2, for 1. Bend it. Airplane arms. Left leg goes back. Torso reaches forward. Take your time. Find as much length as you can. A little bend in that right knee. And breathe. Holding your airplane for 3. Breathe. 2. Float the left foot back. We're going into warrior 1. So the outer foot is down. 45-degree angle. You're squaring your left hip forward, your right hip back. You're bending into the front thigh. So if the knee passes the foot, widen your stance out. Get that front thigh closer to parallel with the mat. And reach the arms up. And breathe. Warrior 1. Press down through your feet, lift higher through your spine, and bend back if you can as you hold it here for 3. Good. 2. Opening to warrior 2, your left foot opens, your arms open, your hips open, your front knee does not open. It stays rotating out toward the pinky toe. Bending into that front thigh. Stay conscious of where your knee is. It's up to you as a student. Teachers can tell you, but it's up to you. You've got to know that the knee needs to be over the heel. Reach away. Keep that rear arm strong and breathe. For 3, 2, and tilt your right palm up, tilt it back toward peaceful. Keep bending into that front thigh, stretching through the right ribs, the right side body as you lift and take it back. For 3, for 2, and right arm to right thigh. Stack your left shoulder over your right shoulder and reach your left arm in the air, side angle. Any option that you're working, take it now. Breathe. If you're in regular side angle, you want a little more extended side angle. Left arm by left ear. Reach and get long through that side body. Maybe add your right arm by your right ear. Leaning the left shoulder back, tucking the right ribs under and reaching forward as you breathe. For 3. For 2, from your binds to come out and meet us back in peaceful warrior. Right arm up. Still bending into that front thigh. Straighten the front leg going into triangle. So arms reach like warrior 2. Bend at the waist and slide your right hand down toward your straightening right leg. Stack your left shoulder over your right shoulder. And take your left arm into the air. And breathe. So you take that option. You can release the right arm and reach it toward the right or the left. So the left arm's in the air, the right arm's reaching in front of you, and you're breathing in your triangle leg. For 3. For 2. Tilt it back to peaceful. Bend into that front knee. Cartwheel your hands to the floor. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Shift through plank. Take a vinyasa, lowering. Upward face, downward face. Breathe. Take your knees down, find child's pose. Hips toward heels. Deep, steady breath. Let's tuck our toes, walk our hands up towards our body, and come to sit on your heels if you can. So this can be pretty intense for a lot of people. So the toes are tucked under. You're sitting your hips on top of your heels. You can use your hands for support. Breathe. Bring your hands down, untuck your toes, flatten your feet, and sit back towards your flattening feet. So you reach your arms up and circle back to interlace your fingers behind your back. Now punch your fist toward the floor to straighten your arms as much as you can. And sit nice and tall. Keep that straightening, that lifting, lengthen through your spine. And exhale, arms lift, forehead looking for the mat. If you get your head down, keep straightening the arms and lifting them up into the air. Breathe. Lift those arms, straighten those arms, breathe. Good. For 3, for 2, and release. Come back up to your seat. Anybody have trouble with that?
Yeah.
Straightening the arms behind you. So one of the things that's kind of important is like as you progress in your practice, when you find something that's hard, like your body's like, nah, man, I'm not doing that. You got to like mentally go, I should work on that. Because that's not that hard to do. Like, that's hard. I don't have a strap. No man has a strap. But you can have a strap and you can do that. We've all done that, right? Where you're just like pulling away on the strap, and you're reaching the arms up, and you're taking them all the way back, working on that shoulder rotation. It's important because when you lose it, it causes other things to like do the job of other things and blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, you got a erect shoulder. We want to do our best to avoid erect shoulder. Take it from Mr. Erect Shoulder. But, you know, mine was trauma related, you know. Like I hit the ground so hard that it ruptured the tendon off my shoulder, you know. So now I'm like trying to like figure out. But I did, talking to my physical therapist this week, he was like, we started doing serratus anterior stuff. Like I was like, oh man, I love serratus anterior stuff. We've been working on that for a couple months, you know, like or maybe a year, I don't know. And he's like, that might explain why you're able to use your shoulder, because you've got that development in the serratus anterior. Like, so that's already taking up some of the load for the tendon that's not there. I'm like, oh, that's a cool thing. But he's giving me a couple of cool things to like work with, some more stuff that we can do when we start back to the serratus work. Let's have a seat with our feet forward. So extend your legs pretty long. They don't have to be straight. So if you know that folding down with straight legs is hard, bend your knees a little bit. Hook your big toe. That's kind of my favorite grip here. Lengthen your spine. And try to get your belly on your thighs. So keep belly on thigh connection as you slide your feet just a little bit more forward. Take a breath there when it gets hard. Draw yourself down. Maybe straighten them a little more forward. Breathe. So if you come to a point where you're like pretty flat, it's really not challenging anymore. If you've got a block, you can take the block and place it in front of your feet. So now that's giving you like another, what's that, 3.5, 4 inches? So you're pulling into the block and you're kicking into the block. Gives you a little deeper fold. Keep your neck relaxed and breathe. Huh? It's your hip, or it's your pelvic tilt. We can talk about that again. We should. It's like if you're up on a blanket, it would help you fold. It would help your pelvis. So what's happening is your pelvis is smashing into the ground, so there's nowhere else for it to go because it already started in the wrong tilt. But that's men. Most men have that. It's no big deal. Breathe. Pull, drawing down. Hold your shape for 3, 2, and take your arms by your ears, rise up. Lower your hands. Haul that left knee up toward your body. Give it a good squeeze in. Sit tall. Take the left knee out to the left. Press the left foot into the right leg. Same option with the block. If this fold is not doing it for you anymore, you can have the block. If the fold feels super difficult, you can use a strap. So I know, like, I didn't say like everybody get a strap, bring a strap. It's not a bad idea in a lot of practices just to have a strap or have your own strap. Well, we're not doing like the wide one, which is like a different variation. So it's just like the one we just did. Yeah, except we do this and we press the left foot into the right leg. So take your arms up and work forward and down toward the right foot. Relax your neck and shoulders and fold as you breathe, exhaling. Keep pressing that left foot into the right leg. Noticing where you feel tension in this pose. Try to relax that. Deep, steady breath. Hold your shape here and breathe. For 3, for 2, and take your arms alongside your ears and rise up. Hands lower, straighten both legs. So you can do that bend and hook and slide down, or if you're feeling more open, you can just reach up and fold forward. Inhale for length. Exhale for depth. Breathing here in your fold. For 3, for 2, take your arms overhead. Exhale, lower your hands, draw your right knee up, pull it up towards your body, and take the right knee out to the right. So pressing the right foot into the left leg, reach your arms overhead, and fold down toward the left leg, making your connection, relaxing your neck and shoulders, inhaling, exhaling. Keep that left foot active. Keep that right foot pressing into the left leg. Deep, steady breath. Take 3 more breaths on this side. Take your arms alongside your ears and rise up. Lower your hands, straighten both legs, 1 more forward fold, reach up, and take it down. Connect, lengthen, exhale, fold. Breathe here for 3, 2. Inhale your arms up. Tuck and lower back down onto your back, slow and controlled, all the way down. Bring your feet to the mat for bridge pose. So feet are close to hips, hip width distance apart, hugging arms in, pressing triceps down, looking up, taking a breath in, and press your heels down, squeeze your glutes, and rise up. Bridge pose. Breathe. So you're lifting, you're pressing down, and you're breathing. Lifting and pressing here. Take your hips up as high as you can. For 3. Good. 2. Take your hips to the mat. Want you to wipe your knees left and right. Slow, controlled, up and down. Just like at the beginning of class. Coming back to center, so we're going to do 2 more back bends. I'm going to talk us into bridge. You can take wheel. It's up to you. Get to your shape and hold it for 5 good breaths. So feet close to hips, arms hug in, press down, hips lift up. That's your bridge. If you're going into wheel, it's hands by ears, fingers point toward your toes, top of your head. Hug your elbows in, press your heels down, and extend your arms up for 5. 4, 3, 2, coming down to your head. Shoulders, back, hips, circle wrist, once you wipe your knees. Deep, steady breath. One more, your option. Bridge or wheel. 5 breaths when you get there. Starting with the feet close to hips. Pressing down, elbows hugging in, hips lifting up. Starting in bridge. Maybe moving to wheel. Take your shape and hold it for 5. 4, 3, 2, and head down, shoulders down, back down, circling wrist, windshield wiper knees. Breathing. I'll dodge it, hopefully. I'll get hit in the head, knocked out. So take your arms behind you, back of your hands on the mat, and point your feet at the ceiling. Work to straighten your legs, L shape. Breathe here. So if your legs don't straighten, your hamstrings are tight. It's pretty common. There's no pressure on them, so you're working by pushing the heels up and curling the toes back. Stay here or move toward plow. So you press into your hands, you lift your feet up. You reach your arms towards your feet, and your feet reach for your hands. You breathe. Try to relax if you're in the shape. Learn to breathe into uncomfortable positions. Deep, steady breath here. Holding your shape. Staying in your breath. For 3. For 2. Meet and dead bug. Take your hips down. Grip your feet. Tailbone to the mat. Heels pointing up. Pulling into feet. Kicking back into hands. Get a good stretch here. One of those shapes that you can kind of just like half-ass do. Or you can be like, hey, I'm not going to do this again, at least until Sunday, if you come to Budokan. Breathe. Pull those feet, kick into the hands. Flatten that tailbone down. Hug your shoulders down your back. Breathe. Deep, steady breath. If you want to rock a little bit side to side, coming into your zombie bug. Kick and pull, hold your shape. 3. Good. 2. Release and hug your knees in towards your chest. So give them a good squeeze in, up and in. Curl up into a little ball and circle on your lower back, your mid back, your hips, whatever's comfortable for you. Circles can be as big or as small as you're looking for. Jiu-jitsu people, like you can literally consider doing this like a shoulder roll. You can go all the way almost up and all the way almost down. Hug that left knee in, extend the right leg long. Pull the left knee up towards your left shoulder. Press the right toes toward the front of the room. So get as much length in that right hip as you can. Reach the left arm out to the left and draw that bent leg across your body, keeping the left arm and shoulder down, finding your spinal twist. Breathe. Deep, steady breath here. Twisting over to the side. Breathing here for 3, 2, and inhale that left knee up. Hug both knees in, give them a good squeeze, couple circles, lower back, hips. Keeping the right knee in, take the left leg long. Left toes are actively reaching forward, pulling the right knee up toward the right shoulder. Right arm out to the right. Take that bent leg across, keeping the right arm and shoulder down, finding your spinal twist on this side. Deep, steady breath. Take 3 more breaths, relaxing into the shape. And inhale as you take that right knee across, hugging both knees back in one last time, circling. And if there's any movement or any shape that you feel like you need to complete your practice, take that now for just a few breaths. We're meeting in our final relaxation when everyone's done with your feet extended long. Feet relaxing out to the side, comfortable arm position next to your body. Just allow yourself to be heavy. Deepen your breath. Bring some movement into your fingertips and your toes. Big inhale as you take your arms and stretch them long behind you, reaching back through your fingers, forward through your feet. Big full body stretch. Exhale, bring your feet to the mat so your knees are up and roll to your right side. You can use your right arm as a pillow. And take a moment there, just allowing yourself to be heavy. And walking your hands a little closer to your body, to pressing yourself up to a seat. Sitting nice and tall. Finish our practice with 3 rounds of that deep belly breath. Exhale out. Through the nose, inhale. Exhale out. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Closing, bringing hands together toward heart center. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your support of the studio and each other. Hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week. See you soon. Namaste.